conditioning is a bad thing. And it's just not conditioning. Not being receptive to why we're conditioned a certain way is a bad thing. If I go talk to a music video director, tell me, oh, people want to see Bom Bom.
Yes.
I'm like, you thought people to see Bom Bom. I said that whole thing about women being on the back bench is a Western culture. It's not African.
Hello everyone, welcome to another interesting episode of the Good News Nigeria podcast. My name is Damnola Kehinde and I am your host for today. So today we are going to be having a very interesting conversation. If you've ever seen a movie or series and you ask the question, why are they always stereotyping this person? Why is the mother always the one in the kitchen cooking? Why is the mother-in-law always wicked? Why are men always the savior? Well, this episode is for you. If you've never asked those questions, if you've just always seen film and you say, okay, that's fine, then this episode is also specially packaged for you. Today we'll be talking about gender equitable storytelling. We're talking about how to tell gender balanced stories in movies, in films, in the entertainment industry. And we have a film director here with us to discuss this, Tola Olatunji. And I'm really very excited about this conversation. I'm really looking forward to see where this conversation will lead us to. So let's dive into it. In the studio with me today is Tola Olatunji, a film director, and he's going to be discussing with us gender equitable storytelling in the media, in Nollywood, in the film industry, and in the media generally. So I'm very excited. Because let me just move straight to Mr. Tola. Welcome to Good News Nigeria podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So I'm very excited about this conversation because people that know me personally know that I'm an advocate for gender equitable storytelling or gender equity generally. People that know me in my personal space say, hey, Dami, I've come again. And so when I was told that I'll be having this conversation with you, I was so excited, especially because you are a man. And usually when we talk about gender equity, gender equitable storytelling, you see women at the forefront. But it's both gender, it's not female here. So I'm very excited about this conversation. I'm very excited about what we'll discuss today. But before we go into it, sir, let's just get to know you a little bit. Could you tell us about yourself and your journey in Nollywood? Okay,
again, my name is Tola Olatunji. I call myself a filmmaker by passion. And in the industry, I think I lean more towards being called a director. But overall, I'm very involved with storytelling, which is script writing. I'm also very technical, which is basically I handle things like cameras and anything that has to do with those gears. I do that as well. But above all, I am more of somebody that's an advocate for social change, right? So I see filmmaking as an instrument of my voice, because I'm not a politician, right? And I am not I'm not very loud, right? You can tell already, but film has to be my voice. So that's really what I'm into film for. So that's why anytime you see any of my films, I'm either addressing one little thing here or there, subtly or...
Yes, because I saw the trailer of some of your films and I was very happy when I saw them because I make films too. I'm a film producer and
that tells a lot. That tells a lot.
Yes, and what I like that you said you're a filmmaker by passion, because that was what drove me when I started. Because I grew up in a very small community. I grew up in Abeokuta, and growing up, they used to tell me that I was so ambitious because of my gender. But film was my escape. Yes, film was my. So I would watch film and I would get lost in those world. The imagination, it was also beautiful for me. And I get when you say that film is an instrument, because it was an instrument for me as a child. I proceeded to study theater arts in school because of that, but that's just by the way. So I'm happy you said that. But when we talk about gender equitable storytelling, for someone that has never heard of that, what does that mean? What does it mean what does it mean?
Gender equitable storytelling, the key word there is equity, right? So I can tell you what it's not. But it means a lot depending on who you're talking to. But generally I will make it very simple. It's gender equitable storytelling is a conscious effort, right, to address some of the conditionings or the bias that we have when it comes to storytelling. And you mentioned a couple of them. Now, why do we have, and it goes beyond gender. It goes to race, it goes to background, it goes to class, right? So we ask ourselves, why do we do this way? It's a way of addressing things that we've been conditioned to believe. So in the gender aspect of it, the question you want to ask yourself is, like you said, why is that woman in the kitchen? Why is the woman always in the kitchen? Does the man always have to save the woman? Why? So you start to ask yourself questions as a writer, as a script writer, as a director, as a whatever it is that is involved in storytelling. You ask those questions. So it's for you to ask the question, and make sure that it's as equitable as possible. So to address conditioning. So that's really what gender equitable storytelling is, and anybody could contribute to it. You don't have to be a director only. Anybody can be, even while off camera. You can address gender equitable storytelling.
Okay.
I don't know if I made that simple enough.
Yes. That's simple.
Because I tend to complicate things a lot.
No. I think that's very basic.
Okay.
Yes, but now let's talk about the Champions Project.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's the Champions Project about, and what are you guys doing?
So the Champions Project, like we all know that film is a very strong tool, right, in our society, and we can use film to address a lot of things. So I, being somebody that grew up, right, surrounded by very, very ambitious, strong women. I have a daughter as well, right? So you want a society where women have a voice, right? I can, like I said in the beginning, that gender equitable storytelling is not a campaign only, because people tend to say, "Oh, are you trying to say that every film that we make, am I going to put a woman in my film just because I want to sell?" That's what we're not. We're trying to change the way we think. Right? We don't want our women's body to be seen over-sexualizing women, right? We don't want, when a woman is ambitious or is aspiring to be something, she's looked upon as angry. Right. But at the same time, we want to be as balanced as we can. Right. It's not like I said, it's not a campaign to demasculate men. No, because the moment I say gender equitable storytelling, the first thing people always ask me is, what is that? So there's this tendency, people always think that the moment you say gender equitable storytelling, it's a Western thing that is being pushed upon us. But it's not. It's really not. It's something that we ourselves need to look into. And I'll say one more thing, and I'll let you ask the next question, because it looks like I've taken over your conversation.
No. You can continue.
There's this belief that women in Africa are naturally suppressed from history, that women are not allowed to participate in important things like politics, business, that it's a Western thing. But it's not a Western thing. Women in Africa have always participated in, women were in the military. You know that, right?
Yes.
Back in the days, women were in politics. Women were the economic power, right? In our societies back then.
Yes.
So part of gender equitable storytelling is to be able to highlight our history. Because if you're telling your daughter that, listen, your grandma participated in politics, your grandma was able to change government, your grandma was a powerhouse, right? It changes her perspective of what is possible, right? So there's a lot to it. Like I said, it depends on who you're talking to.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. And I like the history parts that you mentioned. Because, like you said, when people talk about stuff like gender equity, they think that it's a Western idea.
They get defensive.
Yes. But personally, very recently, I've been trying to look into our history. And even pre-colonial, women were very involved and very active. Maybe it was not totally balanced. But, even like in the Yoruba monarchy system, you see Yellow Day.
Yes. Yellow Jar.
And the Yellow Jar.
Yes.
And then even in our market system, say women were the economic powerhouse. Even back then, the women were the ones running the markets.
Of course.
When you go to the markets then. So it's not a new idea, like you said.
Yes.
It's not a Western idea.
Yes.
So how how harmful do you think it is for an industry like Nollywood to have films and stories generally that are not gender balanced? What harm do you think that could cause?
It could cause a lot of harm. It definitely can. First of all, conditioning is a bad thing. And it's just not conditioning. Not being receptive to why we're conditioned a certain way is a bad thing. Right? It limits possibilities. It limits so many things, regardless of whether it's gender, race, or whatever it is, or tribe or creed, whatever it is, right? So as human beings, we always want to aspire for better. The thing about gender equitable storytelling is not to drive people in one direction. We tend to address issues like a pendulum, right? We're swinging from one right to swing to the left. But the thing is about being balanced. When you know better, you do better. So it's important for Nollywood to know better. Then you can choose. I'm not going to say because, I want to make a film, I have to choose a male character. That's not what we're saying, or a female character. But is it possible to choose a female character in this? Are you open to that conversation? That's what it's about, right? I'm not here to say, okay, from now on, all men have to cook. That's not what we're saying. But are men, are they receptive, right, to cooking? That's a question we need to ask, right? Why does a woman need to be saved in the film? Why can't she be the superhero in the film? Are you receptive to that? Why aren't you not? Why aren't you, right? Those are the kind of things that we're trying to address. Let's have an open mind and an open conversation, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not about sex, it's gender, right?
Gender, yeah.
Which are two completely different things, right? So
that's very honest, because I'm a film producer and I'm just trying to look back at some of these films that I've been, but it's so hard to achieve, if I'm going to be very honest, in Nollywood, because like you said, condition is bad. It's bad. When people are used to doing things in one way, it's so hard to say, let's try this other way. Let's look at this other option. And like people say, the media film reflects what's going on in the society
as of today. Yes, it does.
So people would say, hey, but that's how it's happening now. And so in that way, because really films and media, they're a reflection of what's going on in the society.
Right.
But then how do you think we can, preach what society can be like? Because I'm a screenwriter. I write for people. And sometimes you write screen and they tell you, I don't want it to be like this. This is how it should be. But they're paying me to
do it, right?
Yeah. So for creatives like that are trying to maybe find that balance, but it's hard because it's just few of us are trying to date. What would you say to them?
Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So many things that you've learned now that you eventually will unlearn, right? I don't know if they used to color their hair back in the days, but I'm sure maybe that was a taboo, right? But you don't have to worry about yourself about changing it overnight. We start one step at a day, understanding how that if one person takes that step towards letting everybody know that, hey, let's have an open conversation about why this is, I think eventually we change. I'm not sure if I addressed your question.
Yes. So basically the answer is just to keep doing it.
Keep doing it. You're a script writer. Your director says, I don't want a male character in this lead. I don't want a female character here. It's better off as a male. Oh, did you? You asked the question, why?
Director says.
No, you asked the question. Right? It's a conversation. You might be able to change the director's mind. Because he never knew. Right? He never knew that a woman could be a thug. A lead thug. Why can't a woman be a lead thug? Why can't a woman be the one to stop by on the roadside to help a man that is in need? She might have the better tool, right? You never know until you do that. Let me give you an example. People always ask me, how did I even get here in the first place? I think he asked me that. I'll tell you. So it happens that I looked up my history of all the films that I've made, right? And I realized that all my lead characters were women.
Wow.
It wasn't by design. It was not by design. So I too now said, oh yeah, because it was intentional. It wasn't intentional. I just found myself consistently try to tell stories from a woman's perspective because I felt it connects a lot better. And I of course, growing up, I had a lot of women around me. I had a strong mother, my sister, I have a wife. right? So I totally understand where their own perspective comes in place. So I don't know, somehow naturally I was gravitating towards telling women's stories. That's how I got myself in this trouble in the first place. Now I'm stuck. But fast forward to now, after going through the whole, training, conscious training now to see, and I now started to realize that gender equitable storytelling has nothing to do with demasculating men, because every time I raise that question, trust me, men go crazy. I'm just being honest. They always assume that, oh, you're bringing this Western culture here. Oh, you're trying to demasculate men. Oh, you're trying to, and I can agree with them. Let me tell you why. There are other issues that Africa is dealing with other than gender. Yeah. So their argument is that the next thing we need to be addressing now? We have a lot of things, because I'm a black man. I'm a male black man that also goes to other places, and I see how black people have been treated. So is my priority gender or race? It depends, right? So I can understand the pushback. Yeah. But the honest truth is, I don't think one should go before the other. Right? I think we can address everything. We don't have to wait for all black men to be free before we free our women. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yes. I think everything comes together. Yes. Right? Some people just feel one is more important than the other. I don't think so. I think everything is important.
I think those men that you speak about are probably speaking from a place of privilege.
Oh, yes. Nice. Okay, now you educate me.
So like I said, I grew up in Abeokuta. Okay. And even to now, from when I was a child till now, I see the way women are treated. Women that are not educated, women that are not privileged. But I see women that are treated by their husbands, by their husband's family. And they can't leave the husband because they don't have the money, the economic empowerment to...
Plus the social stigma.
Yes. Okay. That's what they call it in Yoruba. They say, you love your husband. Yes. So it's... Because I see these people, I meet with them, I speak to them. And so when people from the other side are saying, hey, is that the only issue? I'm like, you're speaking from the top that you are. Can you just come down a little bit and meet people that are really affected by these gender issues? So maybe when you speak to them, when you see the way they live, you will know that this is a pressing issue. A lot of time I feel helpless. I feel so helpless because I'm also trying to figure out my own life. So I can't ask you to leave your husband's house and come to my mother's house. So I think that's speaking from a place of privilege.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Interesting perspective, yeah.
I want to go back to your films. So, because I saw a trailer I was very happy when I saw your film, really, because like I said, that was what drove me. That was why I wanted to enter into Hollywood. And then I entered and I saw I was a different girl.
It's a stronger, bigger challenge than you expected,
yes. Right? But when I saw it, I was like, oh, really? You're still making films like this? I saw the trailer for Issues of the Arts, and it was about a woman that was looking for the fruit of the womb. And I was very excited. I was happy to see it. However, I had because I've not seen the whole film, so I don't really know how the movie plays out. But I want you to discuss a bit about it. Because I've also noticed that when it comes to expecting mothers or women that are waiting, or families that are waiting, really, even when you've not done the test and you don't know if it's the woman that is at fault or if it's the man that is at fault, or even if you've done the test, why is the pressure always on women?
That's true.
Because the pressure is always on women. Even in churches, they have meetings for women that are looking for fruit of the womb. My friend would say, what are meetings for men with low sperm count?
It's very true.
Yes. But do you want to talk a bit about Issues of the Heart?
So Issues of the Heart for me is, it was basically to, again, show the perspective that when it comes to childbearing and all that stuff, it's something a lot of times people assume it's the woman that has the issue, and people don't even want to think if it could be the male guy too, it could be the guy that's, and also to address the fact that it's very little things can cause a lot of big trouble, right? And we're all running in one direction and not realize that what that problem can actually be solved by a simple conversation. So there's a lot of, we're going down the rabbit hole. There's a lot of, what's that word? Maybe ego that is tied to a man's potency when it comes to childbirth. I don't know if it's the same thing for women, but there's something about it. that, I mean, just talking to men and how it feels, that it's almost like something they don't even want to discuss.
Yes.
Right? And I don't know why.
Yes.
So a man can go years knowing fully well that he has a problem. And you know how men address things. We like to address things in isolation, right? Especially not with the other gender. So we isolate ourselves from you guys. We try to fix it, right? Because for us, I don't know why. It's something that somebody can tell me. I don't know. And we try to fix it ourselves and realize that, okay, we're going somewhere that's not. Mm-hmm. So it's easier for a woman to agree that, okay, let me go and check this. But for a man, he keeps it to himself.
Yeah.
So the question is, do you know why?
I don't. Because I agree with you, because I mean, I'm not a man, but I have family members who have been waiting, and the wife will come to me and say, Damien, I've been trying to tell your uncle to follow me to the hospital to go and do tests. He said there's nothing wrong with him, it's fine.
And he won't go.
And he won't go. So I don't know why. So
I don't know. Again, it also has to do with awareness, right? Some people associate potency with erection. And it goes deeper than that. So there's many things, so many things. Culturally, there's so many things that we probably want to address, right? That makes it like that. But unfortunately, you're right. It's a stigma for women, and it's something that women don't. It's not addressed when it comes to a man's perspective.
Mm-hmm. I think we need more movies like Issues of the Earth.
Yes, we do.
I think we need more movie. Now let's talk about the other movie I watched, the trailer. I hope I get the pronunciation right. I think you know.
Go ahead.
Kenani. Okay, what language is that?
So Kenani is the African dialect or African translation for the word Canaan in the Bible.
Oh,
the land of Canaan. So in Yoruba, it's Kenani.
Like promised land.
The promised land. Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow, I should have known.
Nobody ever.
So I was thinking maybe that's an outside word or something.
No, everybody. You say Swahili. Generally, it's African, right?
So Kenani.
Kenani.
I know Kenani now.
We tend to stretch it, right?
Yes. So for Kenani, what intrigued me was the fact that we're talking about human trafficking.
Yes.
And the first documentary I did in Nollywood was about human trafficking.
Really?
Yes, it was in
How
Benin.
long ago was this?
That was 2021.
Oh my God, you just went to it.
It was in Benin. It was in Edo State. It was for IOM, International Organization for Migration, and it was basically about women.
Oh wow!
Yes, so women that traveled through the sub-Saharan desert that came back, so they shared their experiences. However, what I loved about Kenani was that it told the story from the perspective of the
male and female. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So you see this gender equitable thing, it's a my subconscious and I didn't know.
Yes. No, it's true. Because I think you just, I don't know, maybe because of your upbringing, like you said, because you know from the perspective of the men, you know from the perspective of the women. I know that both genders, above all, are humans.
Yes.
With feelings, with emotions. So I was very happy to see that, because even when we talk about gender equity, because sometimes it can fall on women, sometimes it can fall on men.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is that when I think of human trafficking, before I did that documentary, I think of those women.
So those women. Women are the only ones susceptible to it, but it's not. You see why it's equity?
Yeah.
That at the end of the day, now it's skewing more towards, and the men are more, and nobody's addressing the issues of the men, right? So it's balanced.
Yes. So I was because when I did that documentary, it was just for women. But because during that entire process, I had to speak with different people that went through that route. And I spoke with a man. It was very expressive. He shared his experiences, and he shared the experiences with other men. I remember feeling very shocked. I was like, really? So men go through this? That's my films.
Yes. And I'll tell you a little bit about that story. When we're producing it, I literally was quarreling with my team about making it a
from both perspectives.
Yes, from both perspectives, because they wanted me to just skew strictly to the women's side, and I think I said it's a common story. So rather than making it about a man or a woman, let's make it about a relationship, right? So it's just balanced out, and I think it worked just perfectly.
That was perfect. So it wasn't even intentional.
No, the script had been written, right? So I was like, you know what, it doesn't feel right. Right, and it wasn't for show. It wasn't because we didn't write it like that for show to say, okay, let's just do so that men will accept it. No, I said it's better addressed from a perspective of a relationship rather than just a woman being abused. Right? Because now you're falling into the cliche, right? Okay, human trafficking, the woman was trafficked, but the man went through a lot.
Yes.
The man also was susceptible to sexual abuse too.
Because I saw videos of him in the shower. I saw when they were beaten. And I was like,
Yes.
Yes, it was very interesting to see.
You need to go watch the whole thing.
Yeah, but where do I watch it?
It's not out yet. Very soon. Very soon.
Very soon. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely watch it. I'm really looking forward to it. Those are the two trailers I saw. I wanted to watch Yankee also on YouTube, but I've not seen it.
You need to. Tell me about your film.
Okay, the documentary. So
how did you do?
So it wasn't a personal project. It was for UN. So yes, I was working for a media company at that time, and we were contracted to produce it.
Got it.
So we produced it and gave it to them. I think they uploaded it on YouTube. I don't know.
I'll go check it out.
Articles.
So what did you learn from it?
That was my first experience, like I said.
Oh yeah.
And I don't even know how to now put it into words, but it was eye-opening for me. Now, the experience of speaking to those women and the experience of the Libya, traveling to the Sahara Desert, however, it exposed me to production because I didn't know production was that hectic. No, because documentary is not scripted. So you have to... So it was... but it was a very good experience. It was a good experience for me. And I'm glad that was my first project.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
I'm glad you did.
Thank you.
Yeah, filming is fun. And like I said, there's no other better time to be a filmmaker than now. No excuses anymore. Yes. It's been democratized. Everybody can make film right now and be great with it.
No gatekeeping.
No gatekeeping anymore.
We've passed that era.
Yeah, we passed that era, right?
I love it for myself. I love it for me. Okay, so let's move on. So earlier you were talking about how sometimes women are sexualized in the media. And it's so funny because as I was coming today, I was going through my WhatsApp status and I saw a friend posted something about how in music videos, can women in the entertainment industry start working on the fact that women are always turned to sexual objects. You see the men well dressed, and then the women from the camera angles to the way they're dressed, to this, to that. And I just used to say, so what are we supposed to do? Should we go and find the director? So I don't know. I mean, I don't do music videos, so I'm not in that industry, but I don't know how to think because it's becoming a pandemic. You rarely see a music video now in Nigeria without a woman being sexualized. And the argument is always, but she consented to it now. She wanted to do it.
Like I said, this whole thing is a rabbit hole, right? I'll quickly deviate from that conversation. So let's forget about sexualizing women's bodies. Let's look at dark skin versus light skin.
Okay, that's.
Trust me, there's a lot filmmakers have to go through. So we grew up. I was also I subscribe to that whole nonsense. Right? That when you're shooting, when you want to cast, you go find the light-skinned person. For one reason, they'll tell you it's because, they look better on camera. That's what we thought. We were conditioned, right? They said, you need less light. You're conditioned. So as a filmmaker, once you want to cast something, a lead role, the first thing you're looking for a light-skinned girl. Zero. There's zero correlation between how you should cast and skin color. You tell a story as it should be told. You have a vision. If the person's a slave, the person was pretty, if she was dark, tall, what did you have? Don't let the society condition you to that. So the question always comes for in my own case now, but that's the culture. That's what people want, but it's not true. That's what people were thought to want. That's always the mistake. We were thought to want certain things, and it's left for filmmakers to change it. The question is, everybody always uses what the audience wants, right?
To justify.
As a result. But that's not why you see, that's the difference between people that are in film just for commercial reasons only. But for someone like you and I that are in it for the craft, social change, educating people, right? You have to change what it is. You have to tell people it's okay to cast a dark-skinned girl. And you probably see now it's changing, right?
Yes.
If music videos, now, what's it called? Afrobeat is changing that. You see a lot of dark-skinned girls dancing on the stuff, right? So, but if you try that a couple of years ago, your music video won't sell. So let's go back to the sexualizing. Yes, I agree. I say that all the time, right? But if you look at some of the country songs, they have millions of views. Millions of views. They don't put women's behind, right, on the video. The question they will now tell you, if I go talk to a music video director, tell me, oh, people want to see Bom Bom.
Yes.
I'm like, you thought people to see Bom Bom. Right? You thought them to see Bom Bom. You have to unteach them that it's okay not to see. I'm not saying putting Bom Bom is wrong. But teach people that they have options, that things can sell.
That's the point. Options.
You have options, right? So that's where filmmakers like you and I have to come in. You're going to be fighting an uphill battle. There's no doubt.
Yes.
But you can change culture for the better. Okay? And like I said, it's the reason why we're having this conversation about gender equitable storytelling is because we're trying to change conditioning. I'm not trying to. I'm a filmmaker. Most of the time I stand on the fence a little, but I'm here to educate you. That why are you doing it this way? Right? Give people options of what to do.
Yes. And I don't think that filmmakers generally know how powerful it's so what we have is. We don't know. We don't know because even films, okay, let's say film, let's even enter adverts, PR media. Growing up, when we watch advert of seasoning cubes, you know, the mommy is in the kitchen, the daddy is coming from
everywhere you go.
Almost all the growing up, that was it.
Everything.
Yes, detergents. The mothers are the one using hands to wash clothes, and we grew up believing that that's the reality.
That's reality. Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be. So even if you're a career woman, you're a working woman, you don't want to get a domestic help. You don't want to outsource things because you believe that you have to do it, and then you kill yourself. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say that.
No.
Yes. So I don't think we understand how power. Because I was talking about Abeokuta earlier. And I make my hair when I go home, so I have a particular salon, and I will hear them saying, those, can let me say it in English, they'll be making reference to movies that they watch on Africa Magic Rover. I remember a particular one that my hairdresser was, for women, hair salon is the best place to get this.
I heard. Unfortunately, I don't have hair.
And she was trying to justify, I think a girl was molested, and she was trying to justify, and she was like, at least we see it in films now, at least that film that we watch on that channel, at least they showed us, the girl had sharp mouth. That was why she was molested. And she was able to justify it because she saw it on screen. So I don't think we know how powerful.
It's powerful.
Yes.
It's super powerful. There are some books you go read. I can't remember the names, but honestly, I would say 99% of the PR for developed nations was as a result of film. You see us when we're growing up, right? America. We growing up, we wanted to have American accents. We wanted to dress American. We wanted to put our face cap behind. I didn't know what this is a long time ago. Do you know, this is something I read somewhere, obviously, that the CIA actually sponsors movies, Hollywood movies.
Yeah, of course they have to, because sometimes when I watch those
it's a lot of things.
Yeah. People
use movies to suppress. People use movies to elevate. I'll give you a quick, funny story. This is more reason why I said, for me, gender equitable storytelling also helps us to understand our history. Do you see everything you said about women being the ones that are going to go wash and all that stuff, and women not being empowered? People assume it's an African thing, and it's not true. I think I've already said that before, but I'll tell you where that came from. We went to New York recently, some of the champions for the equitable storytelling thing, gender equitable storytelling. And we went to watch a movie. And in that movie, there was a patriarch, powerful guy. It was an olden day Brit. I can't remember the name of the movie, but powerful, excellently shot movie. I think it was plotted for the maybe very early, maybe 100 years ago. It was pretty early.
Okay.
And what it was depicting was that the patriarch was the overall person. Girls were not allowed to go to school. This is typical Western world culture. The boys were the ones that were allowed to go to school. If they had money, maybe the girls can go, but the girls were not allowed to participate in anything. They stayed home. They were seamstresses, right? Very typical thing. So after the champions watched that movie, right, we all sat down and one guy came to me. He just came from Nigeria. And he said, sorry, I'm over dramatizing that now. He said, I didn't know that Igbo people too have that kind of culture. And that I was so sad. I said, that whole thing about women being on the back bench is a Western culture. It's not African. It's not African. Go. It's not so far off. Look at the story of Funmilayo Kuti.
Yeah.
How did Funmilayo Kuti ever get into the town square? Do you think it was because of her? She was radical, but she was radical to the society, not just from home. She's generally like that. Women had power. Women were in the military. Look at Queen Amina. So go look at the history of Africa. Women took political roles. Women took roles of power. Women were in the forefront. Women had a voice. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we say women's oppression and all that stuff, people always immediately think it's an African thing. So we immediately accept it. But it's not an African thing. That was pushed down our throats. I'm telling you, go read your history. So if you know that, what does that tell you? It makes you free. It frees you that, come and think about it. This is not really who I am. Let's even assume it was who you are. But the fact that it's not who your forefathers and your foremothers were doing, it sets you free. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Because you know that, no, this is not, somebody just came up with something and they conditioned us to be like this. So if you look at so many things that has been thrown down to Africa, we always assume that, music. Look at how music did. How did we come up with this light skin? Sorry, I'm bringing light skin, dark skin thing again. Right? There was this song that is very devilish song that they say, Omokupa. I'm like, wait. How did that? Yeah, fine. That was his preference. But you remember that it's real. That I got to a certain point. That's where people used to use as trophies in their house just to go marry a light-skinned woman.
Wow.
Right? How did we get to that point? Because I myself, I grew up like that. I was like, no, it has to be a light-skinned girl for me to look relevant. There's so much depth to how film can change a lot of things. And as exposed as I think I am, I'm still susceptible to that nonsense.
Yes.
So imagine somebody that has no exposure to it. No exposure to it, how it's going to behave in. That's why we have to rethink the way we
unlearning is very hard. It's very hard to unlearn.
Film can do it.
To add. So what impact do you think the Champions projects will have on storytelling in the Nigerian entertainment industry?
It will. The more people we get to understand what it is and what it is not, it will create a lot of impact. At least from a history standpoint. I like people, for me, I like people understanding their history. And for me, one of those things was this. And the reason why I wanted, we can be here all day, because there's a strong tie to race, gender, and all these things. And you don't realize that a lot of things that we do, that we believe that we're doing, is as a result of what we're taught. And if I start the list, you yourself will not start being shocked that why are we like this? Why is that like this? Right? So filmmaking is an important tool. Very important tool that we all have to use to re-educate ourselves. But is it important? Very important. Very, very important.
So we are wrapping up now. I don't want to go. This is a very interesting, but we need to
wrap it up.
Yes, but before we wrap up, I have like two questions I want to ask you. So for creatives like me, because I mean I'm young in the industry. I started in 2019, so I'm just 6 years. So I have a lot of friends too that also like we are the same level with me. So for a lot of us who, I mean, we don't even conform, to even be honest. You see us, we don't.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
But even with that, it's still hard because we need to make money, we need to get funding. So sometimes we have to just, okay, let's just do it the way they want to do it. But for people like us that are really just still coming up, who are trying to tell gender balance stories, but are facing challenges, sometimes it's like the old industries against us because we are different. So what would you say to us? Because we need to actually make money. It's a passion project, but you need money to make the passion thing. So, and the balance sometimes can be very tricky. So what would you say to people like us, to creatives, maybe not even people like us, to anybody in the industry really that is trying to tell a gender balance story? What would you say to them?
I think you said something recently that you said there's no more excuse, right? There is no other time in history where filmmakers have been given a voice. Let's reverse 10 years ago. 10, 20 years ago, there's no way you have access to this easily. 10 to 20 years ago, you couldn't have a cell phone that has a camera. Where do you want to find it? Red cameras that they were used to create back then in 20 years ago, those were the $120,000, $300,000 cameras. Now you're getting them for nothing, right? Platforms. You want to get on a platform. Where do you want to get it? Right? You want to get on Hulu, all these big channels. You can't. Yeah. It was very, very, very hard to get. But today, guess what? If you don't have a platform, you can get on YouTube. Nobody's stopping you. Yeah. You find your audience, you find your own thing. There is no better time in history to be a filmmaker than now. So the veil has been the veil is out. It's now left for you to make your own film. The question you're asking me is, how do you make money from it? Hey, we're all still trying to figure that out, right? But as long as you are able to separate filmmaking and your job, you I don't think both of them necessarily have to be together. You have to first of all separate it, and hopefully one day they all come together. So the fact that I want to tell a story, I want to change one person's life, I can get on YouTube tomorrow and tell it. What you're doing right now, you put it out there, you'll be surprised how many people you're really changing. But the day this whole conversation is going to start to pay you, it's a matter of time and consistency. So you have to be able to separate both. But you cannot be discouraged. You can't. It will eventually come. The money eventually come.
That's inspiring. Thank you for saying
I don't know if I answered the question in the right way, but...
No, yes, you did.
Okay.
Or do you want to say any other thing?
No.
That's actually...
I thought I was debating, but I would have gone a little too deeper, but I think that's fine.
No, you didn't debate. That was like spot on. Because, when people advise people, it's usually very vague. But what you gave me, that is very practical. Right. Yeah, so it's not vague. So it's like that action points there.
Yes.
And so thank you.
Yeah, separate both of them at some point. But you have to keep telling stories. Eventually your brand will come out. Yeah. Do the job for the director. Do your own storytelling. Let people know who you are and what you stand for.
Yes, thank you for that. And so to wrap up, so if there's one thing that you want the audience to take away from this conversation about gender equitable storytelling, what would that be?
So I want to first of all let everybody know that gender equitable storytelling has nothing to do with demasculating men, right? It has nothing to do with taking the role of men. Has nothing to do with casting women just because you want people to accept you. That's not what it's about. Gender equality has to be genuine, right? If you have a mother, you have a sister, you have a girl in your family, you have a guy that's in your family that you feel is not given the chance to do something, what would you do, right? So I want people to understand that all we're talking about when it comes to gender equitable storytelling is just conditioning. Ask the question why. Question your own existence, right? To say, why did I wake up this morning? There must be a reason why I woke up this morning, right? Okay. So it's not just about waking up. It's about why did I wake up? So it's okay to ask why. That's what makes us real good creatives. Thinking outside the box and saying, okay, why is this way? What I want people to take from gender equitable storytelling is conditioning. Ask yourself, what have I been conditioned to believe? And ask yourself, how did I get here? Retrace your footstep backward and do something different. That's it.
Wow. Thank you. This was like a personal mentorship.
That's fine.
Because this is my field too, but this is I'm so happy that
good.
I got to do this with you. So
Thank you so much.
I think I need to come and take a GES course.
I hope I'm able to deliver.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This is from Child Steady.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much.
Hope you enjoy.
I will. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, sir. Wow, what a conversation. This has been a very, very interesting episode, a very interesting conversation. I've learned a lot personally, and I hope you've been able to get a lot of things from the conversation too. This episode is proudly sponsored by Child Steady, so thank you for joining us on today's episode. See you next time. Bye.